When I was diagnosed with cancer, it came as a real shock because I had been misdiagnosed for a long time. And so I suddenly found that I had what by then was a very large tumour, difficult to treat. I was in a lot of pain, and naturally I was very fearful. I was very blessed in as much as I have a very dear friend who's a cardiologist in the States, and he uses clinical hypnosis in his work, and he happened to be in the UK a few days after I was diagnosed, and a couple of weeks before I started into quite a lengthy and difficult treatment that involved both chemotherapy and radiotherapy. He sat down with me and we talked about what would be a really healing place to go in my mind. Somewhere I could be for my treatment, somewhere I could go if I needed strength, if I needed to control or minimise the side effects of treatment. And I've always found Bluebell Woods really inspiring and beautiful and soothing. So he recorded a couple of visualizations for me that were set in a bluebell wood. And in this wood was everything I needed to get through my treatment, to envision what it would be like to be well again, to keep myself going positively in my mind. There was a beautiful chair that I could relax in to have my treatment. There was a shaft of sunshine that could break through the trees when I needed to have a cannula fitted and my vein could open in acceptance with that sunshine falling on my skin. There was a jug of golden liquid, which was my chemotherapy, which I could feel was a beautiful healing liquid. Which is very different from being told by a chemotherapy nurse that this drug would make me very sick, would make me have all kinds of side effects that weren't very pleasant. So, and we know that feeling gratitude for something really has a very positive impact on your physiology. So that was there. There was a cooling pool that I could immerse my areas of my body where I was having radiotherapy, which could minimise the effects of burning or irritation, and all kinds of other things in this wood that I could follow my path through the wood and find as I needed them. So I listened to this tape as I relaxed twice a day. Before my treatment, when I went in for my treatment, my chemotherapy was 10 hours at a time, which is a very long time to stay calm, and I knew how important it was for my body not to feel stressed. So I would take my recordings in with me and sit in my hospital bed and just be in this beautiful place. There was a healing mist in this place as well that I could bring down around my body and through my body, which would heal my healthy cells, would dissolve unhealthy cells. And so I practiced and practiced with these recordings before my treatment, during my treatment, before going for results, before going to see the consultant, going in for radiotherapy, because actually lying on a bench, a radiotherapy hard bench in a big room with big equipment revolving around you when you're entirely on your own can be a scary place to be as well. And so being in this bluebell wood and again envisioning the radiotherapy clicks as little shafts of sunshine which were healing for my body, and bringing in all the supports, the people that I wanted to be around me in my mind. That's another really important thing, to use visualisation to see the supports around you that are going to make a difference for you. And I was so struck by the benefits of using this visualisation. I mean, just from the physical point of view, when I went back to my oncologist after 2 cycles of chemotherapy, this very large tumour had shrunk so much that he couldn't find it on examination, and he was a man of very few words, but he was quite amazed. He kept saying, "I'm amazed." And every time I went, he would turn my hands over and look at my palms, because one of the side effects of another drug that I was on was very red, irritated palms. And he would turn my palms over and they were always just fine. And he was always a little bit surprised. So I was increasingly, I'd always been very interested in the power of the mind. I have a background in psychology. I had always used visualization if I were going for an interview or in a difficult situation to see myself thinking and acting positively with a successful outcome. So I was kind of well practiced in it. But using it in this way, I was so sold on the idea of not just the effects of this deep relaxation which visualization takes you into, but the visualization itself, it's the many ways that you can use it. That as soon as I had recovered from my treatment and from the cancer, very fortunately, after a couple of years, I decided to train as a hypnotherapist so I could use this in my work. And it's interesting that a lot of people who have cancer and chronic illness have sought me out because I've had that experience and I can understand where they're coming from. And so I've brought it very much into my own work.